Kobra And The Lotus, Prevail 2. 12 tracks for 53 minutes. The fifth studio album from the Canadian five-piece, released April 2018 by Napalm Records. Another one I can't find credits for, unfortunately, but 2 promo tracks have been released, Losing My Humanity and Velvet Roses. This is the conclusion to what was begun with their previous record, and for the record, Dave thinks they should have released 1 and 2 at the same time. Dave, no more Guns N' Roses for you. Anyway, go for it.
I really dug this album. I thought it was great. Riffs and guitar tone for days, really beautifully captured for me. Cobra Page should give lessons to how classically trained singers should attack heavy metal. Mm-hmm. A lot of the other ones that we've listened to recently that just fucking wind me up because they're not attacking it properly. Yep. This is how it should be done. She really shows off her wares without trying to break glass every fucking 2 minutes.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, it's just really, really well done. It's musically a really smart and diverse album. The acoustic interlude in it was absolutely stunning.
Fantastic.
This is heavy. This is a really heavy album, but also really accessible. It's got melody in it.
It's between sort of Nightwish and Arch Enemy. It's that middle ground.
Exactly right. Yeah. And I can see this one crossing over a few genres. If you like your thrash and your double kick, there's plenty of that there for you. If you're into your symphonic metal, this isn't what you'd call symphonic metal, but it has
enough
similar sort of attitudes that if that's what you like, you'll get right into it. And if you like straight up hard rock, you'll dig it. It is a really, really good album. Fantastic guitar solos on it. And really well-composed songs. At the end of the day, I don't know if it was supposed to, but this album made me happy. I gave it 8.5 out of 10. The highlights were Velvet Roses, Human Empire, Losing My Humanity, and Ribe.
Oh, nice. Okay. So look, despite being around for 9 years and releasing 5 albums in that time, I only really heard about Kobra and the Lotus for the first time in 2017 with Prevail 1. And I got onto that pretty late in the piece. I couldn't believe it took me so long because the band fused so many different styles and influences that I love all into one melting pot. And I just couldn't believe it took me so long. Look, I'm a sucker for female-fronted metal, especially when it's done this well. And that 2017 album came very close to making my top 10 for 2017. It just missed the cut. It was that's how much I really loved it.
Nice.
So when I heard Part 2 was coming out, I thought, how great this is coming out so quick after. But I realised that Part 2 and Part 1 were recorded at the same time, so that kind of makes sense. For me, Prevail 2 is a slight improvement over the first chapter of I looked up this word, duology. There you go. There you go, guys. Thesaurus Nick at your service.
No, gone from legal statements to thesaurus reading. Jesus.
I'm an educational person.
Learning and rocking at the same time.
I find it a little bit more...
nerdy.
Yeah. I find it a little bit more melodic and mellow than its predecessor, so it's got a clearer guiding line, and I think it just flows better. Also, what I liked about the sound, the band experiments with their sound a little bit more here. They put some almost new age and pop influences in there at stages and stuff, especially the new age stuff. I wasn't expecting that, but they still keep it heavy and familiar enough to please the masses that like Part 1 so much. Example that I came up with is a song like My Immortal, which is it's a courageous song for them to attempt. It's got really soft vocals, which really reminded me of a mix of new age singers like here's the first little THRS Enya. And Lorena McKenna, and yes, I had to Google search artists similar to Enya to get that one. Hey, I'm honest. Heartache is possibly that's possibly the best Evanescence song that Evanescence hasn't written.
I'll pay that to a degree.
It's a great song. It's really got uplifting vocals, strop pop vibes, and piano melodies. The band even enters some symphonic metal territory on this album as well with Human Empire. And that's very adventurous. It's very epic. It reminds me of a band, ironically, called Epica in so many ways. So, I love Epica as well. So, it's not all completely new territory, though. Like I said, I really enjoyed Part 1 of this series, and there are still a few of the more aggressive tracks on this album for fans of traditional heavy metal to get into. Tracks like Losing My Humanity and You're Insane, great tracks. These 2 tracks are probably the best examples of the band at their best, and as much as experimentation as there is on this record, I still think it's the heavier material where they truly stand out. So, getting back onto the Dave thing, I listened to this quite a few times, and I came to the conclusion, like Dave, for me, Prevail 2 doesn't really qualify as a middle record overall. I'd categorise it into more of a hard melodic rock album because Part 1 really sounded like Symphony X meets Judas Priest at times. This one's way more melodic, and Prevail 2, so it's got two steps in new direction here. The first is it's more melodic and mellow than the other one. The second step, it's also very symphonic, which I really loved. The other four, and this is where I get to the Dave thing, is I reckon if they released this as a single album and took the best songs from part 1 and part 2 and put them together, mate, we'd be talking about a classic record here. It's that good. Overall, I'd give Andrew. You're gonna love this one, Andrew. I give Prevail 2 7.5 Orinoco flows out of 10. With standout tracks being Losing My Humanity, Human Empire, You're Insane, and Velvet Roses.
I hope you had to Google that too.
Everyone knows Orinoco flow. Come on.
Oh, fuck, here we go. No, that's a first as well, folks. We're getting the School of Hard Rock is schooling everyone.
It is.
Oh, yeah, just
And last week as well, for that matter. For me, this is melodic and powerful metal overall on offer. Kobra Page is a great voice for the style, and she's really strong on this record.
She's awesome.
A modern metal done really well. Nice use of hooks to keep you locked in on this, but the riffs are nice and chunky too. This would be good live.
Oh yeah,
I would love to see this live.
Yeah.
It's got just that right little touch of pop sensibility in the vocal melodies, which makes it really damn accessible too. Though this will not put anyone off at all. Production is nicely done. Everything is really well captured and layered. Has a nice warmth to it. Great balance applied to allow the vocals to cut through easily, but too much to simply be the focus point. But not too much. The vocals are the focus point, as they should be, but everything else is blended nice and evenly around it. The use of space in the songwriting is really well done too. Great composition and performances across the board on this. You'll be nodding, tapping, or headbanging along to this in no time, in my opinion. Some really nice different points though, with some acoustic pieces. Play with some nice soundscape work. It's subtle, it's warm, it's really nice, and it's a way to break things up. Well placed in the track order as well. They really add to the flow of the listen, in my thought process opinion. You and your fucking, in my opinion, that has fucked me up for weeks, you bastard. Fuck you.
keep trying, you'll get there.
In my
I'm going to have to fucking eliminate from my vocabulary. It's just bullshit now. On the flip side, though, those moments give others in the group a chance to shine really nicely. It's very well done. There are some blistering moments, too, though, which work just as well. I love the lyrics on this. They are really well done. Some darkness in this, too, with some really interesting note choices here and there. I found them to be really intriguing. This really does balance the light and shade very well. This is cool and a little bit different from the other bands that these guys can be lumped in with. It's not extreme, it's not symphonic, it's not just pure rock. It's a bit unique as it blends all of the above really well while being really easy for anyone to check out and be pretty happy with overall. Yeah. It's got something for everyone here and it all ties together.
It does.
It's well done. Yeah. Modern Day Hero I found to be a really interesting track. I personally found to be a bit of a flat spot. However, there's some interesting things, little things in the song, some different sounds being used and a bit of a different vocal delivery. Which was just that little bit odd because I was disinterested yet curious at the same time while that song was playing. It was the composition was ho-hum, but what was happening within that was intriguing. So it was a quirky song. I don't often find that. Overall, it's an interesting album, worth checking out. This is my first taste of this band from memory, and I certainly want to take the time to go over their previous works as well and keep an eye on what comes up next after this. Their version of Fleetwood Mac's The Chain, that's very, very well done. They certainly made it their own. That jumped out. Yeah. That was different. The acoustic version of Let Me Love You was also a nice touch as well. So the couple of little bonus bits at the end, they're worth it. They're worth listening to. 8.5 out of 10. Let Me Love You, Velvet Roses, Human Empire, You're Insane. Much like we are. Check it out for yourselves and let us know what you think.